You're only one contract away. Now go out there and start bidding these government contracts. So first, make sure you like the video to show your boy some love. Subscribe to the channel to stay tuned and hit the notification bell. That way you are updated every time we release a new video. And if you're new to the channel or new to my page, make sure you hit that Facebook group down below in the description and join our Facebook group where we show you exactly how to go win government contracts. That being said, let's get into the reason why you guys are here today. So in today's news, as you can see on the screen, reports show that requirements for federal contractors to pay $15 minimum wage will have minor impact on government spending, right? So all that simply means is federal contractors have now been required to pay $15 minimum wage to all federal contractors, right? So for instance, if you have, let's say, a janitorial contract where you're staffing, 15 different individuals, at a bare minimum, you have to pay them $15, right? So the new minimum wage is $15 for all federal contractors beginning 2022, right? Now, let me just say this, right? Essentially, what I believe is happening is since the government is spending so much money, right? They're printing all this money, is creating inflation, right? So to counteract that, what they're gonna do is they're gonna give you, an increase in minimum wage. Saying, hey, minimum wage is now $15, right? Well, if the price of everything goes up, did you really get an extra, did you get a bonus, right? You didn't really get anything extra, right? They're just giving you the extra, $15 minimum wage to kind of cover the inflation that's going on, right? For instance, let's say that, you made $20,000 every single year, right? Prior to the minimum wage. Now you make $25,000, right? With this new $15 minimum wage rule, right? But cost of living goes up. Now you instead of paying $3 of gas for a gallon, you're paying $4 per gallon, right? You go to Home Depot to buy some supplies to build your house or whatever. Now instead of costing you $1,000, it's costing you $1,500, right? So yes, you're making more, right? That $15, yes, you're getting a bigger paycheck, but you're also spending it more because inflation is happening. Just because you're getting paid more does not mean that, the cost of living is not going up. If cost of living is going up, of course you should get paid more, right? But so I think they're really using this $15 minimum wage to compensate for them spending tremendous dollars, right? So the question is, how can you benefit from this, okay? Well, let's keep reading the article and kind of see what they're talking about in the article, right? So the first thing says President Biden executive order requiring $15 minimum wage for workers on federal contracts starting next year. So right now, it's minor impact on government contract spending of $1 billion to $2 billion, right? $1 billion increase is minor impact, right? So it essentially goes into the details right there, how much they're spending already. If you keep on there, individuals paid by hourly, working on contract representatively, okay, 3% of government spending is usually, hourly workers, right? And let's keep going. So now, if you come all the way down here, right, where it essentially goes into the different types of contracts that are going to be impacted or affected, right? So they project that, the type of jobs are going to be contracts like janitorial services, landscaping, nursing, admin, food services, dry cleaning, laundry, and other positions related to, I guess, you need employees to be staffing, right? Like security guards and things like that, right? We having, employees doing federal work, right? Federal contractors, right? So their amount of contracts will be impacted. If you actually scroll down into this section right here, we actually break it down by agency and how much money will be impacted, right? So Department of Defense, they currently spend about $10 billion on contracts that will be impacted. So there's about 11,000 contracts that are going to be impacted by this new rule, right? At the VA, 7,000 contracts, agriculture, 2,000, state, 1,500, right? All other is 7,000. So a total of 30,000 current contracts right now will be impacted because of this new executive order increasing the minimum wage, right? So, and that's a grand total of about $20 billion will be impacted with this new regulation, right? And that's about it for the article. So, what's this simply mean, right? Well, that means that come 2022, when this goes into full effect, right? All these contracts are gonna have to be updated and saying, hey, instead of, $12 an hour is now $15 an hour, right? You must now meet these new labor rates, okay? So that could create new opportunities because, first, the government, they're gonna need to update everything. So they might outsource and hire a company to come in here and say, hey, you know what, we need you guys to go through all these contracts and make sure everything is fit, because we don't got time to do that, right? That can create new opportunities right there, right? So if you provide any kind of like management and admin work, right, that could be something where you could pursue contracts in, right? Now, also on the other hand, to help these businesses, update these labor rates, they're gonna have to, go back and also do that also. Now, some of these contracts might end up getting recompeted because the government might not have the budget to meet these requirements, right? So they might terminate those contracts a lot sooner, right? So essentially, you can leverage this right here to essentially, first of all, know what's happening in your industry. Are prices going up? So when you're bidding these contracts, make sure you include those new rates, okay? Especially in janitorial services, because contracts will be expiring real soon, right? And also, you can use expiring contracts. Let's say, hey, you do some market research and you find out that, these contracts right here are going to be expiring in January, February, March of 2022. Well, you can start positioning yourself, to present that new pricing in, because they're going to have to create a whole new, label category. Well, not label category, but like a whole new pricing strategy to meet the requirements of this particular contract, right? And who knows if the agency's budget is going to be increased. If the agency's budget is not increased, then where are you going to find the money to do it, right? I imagine it will be increased just to compensate for the extra, minimum wage increase, right? But as a contractor, as a federal contractor, you really have to pay attention to the pricing and essentially position yourself to still be competitive, right? While still delivering tremendous value, right? So if you are looking for an opportunity to do government contracts, you can find one of these contracts, that fit in one of these agencies or in one of these particular services where they have staff on base doing the particular job, and figuring out, hey, how can I outbid this person, because maybe the person don't even know there's an increase, right? So if the individual does not know, the individual bidding the contract, the recompete contract, does not know there's been an increase, and there's an increase, well, they're not going to be compliant first and foremost, because they're not meeting the labor rates, right? The bare minimum, right? And you're gonna come in perfect around the money, $15 an hour, 15.01, right? But overall, use the data, use the information, to position yourself for future opportunities, as well as prepare for what's happening in the marketplace. Because if you did not know that, hey, contracts are gonna be now, $15 minimum wage, and you're still bidding contracts, at your old rates, you're probably not gonna win, right? Or you might go too low to where you're disqualified for not being compliant, okay? So I just want to make this quick little video. It's kind of like give you an update and let you know, hey, this was happening in the government space. Minimum wage has been increased to $15, and they're thinking it's gonna be a small minor impact because they're just printing money, right? And just know that inflation is real, right? It even set it down here too. Let me see what I found. Okay, for example, right, a full-time worker currently making a minimum wage of $10.95 an hour could earn an additional $8,000, right, over the course of a year, right? Now, that's nice money. You make $8,000 more, right? But guess what? Gas prices going up, inflation is going up, bills is going up, right? Because they're spending so much money. So now that $8,000 extra is essentially used to compensate for all the inflation that's going on. So realistically, did you really make extra money, or did you just get finessed, right? They're trying to use this right here to cover the inflation that's happening. That's my thought, at least, right? You're your own individual, make your own decisions, right? But overall, if you keep reading, you just find more information about the particular the labor rates being increased. But at the end of the day, more of the story is, if you provide a kind of service and you're doing federal contracting, take into consideration that minimum wage is now $15 an hour for all federal contracts. If you want to learn more about winning government contracts and how we can help you, win government contracts, join our free Facebook group. The link is down in the description, and let's help you win some government contracts. You're only one contract away. Go out there and start bidding these government contracts, and make sure you like the video, show me some love, hit the notification bell to stay tuned, and subscribe to the channel. Show some love, and of course, stay tuned to the information, because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this, keeping you updated in the marketplace, as well as giving you high-level strategies on how you can leverage government contracting to take your business to the next level. You're only one contract away. I'll see you on the next one.